Okay, I'd like to show you how to pick up stitches along a bound off edge. This would be as though you were continuing the piece from the knitting and just adding more to it. If you're going to seam your piece, don't go in this very first stitch here. Now it's important to know that when you're picking up stitches in knitting, you're always using a piece of yarn to do that. So I'm going to start right here in the corner in the very first stitch. It looks like a V. Insert my needle from front to back. The working yarn wraps around the needle and you pull it a stitch through. Here is the next stitch we're going to pick up. It looks like a V. Go directly into that V, wrap like you're knitting, and pull the stitch through. You don't want to go in the stitch that looks like the letter A. You want to go in directly into the middle of the stitch that looks like a heart or a V. Place your needle directly in there, wrap like you're knitting, and pull the stitch through. Also, it's important that you don't try to get the chain that's along the edge of the bind off like this. If you do go into the chain, you're going to notice that your needle is between two columns of stitches, and it looks a lot better if the stitches are just growing directly out of the column of knit stitches like this. Now you can see the completed picked up stitches along the bound off edge. You can see that I have gone into every V, every stitch column available on the bound off edge. When you're picking up stitches along a bound off or cast on edge, you're going to pick up each stitch that you see, unless you're going to be seaming the piece, in which case you wouldn't pick up the first stitch or the last stitch, because you need those edge stitches for seaming. Here's what the piece looks like after a few rows of stockinette stitch have been worked. You can see that the columns of stitches in my original piece have not been interrupted. Those knit stitches flow directly into the picked up stitches of the pink, where I picked up along the bound off edge. No disruption, and it doesn't jog over. On the other side, all you have is the bound off edge that shows to the inside. Okay, so that's picking up stitches along a bound off edge in stockinette. Try it. This is a fun one.